there was. Y supongamos que el mes próximo habrá. Uno, there will be a forest fire next month. Si te fijas un poquito, verás que estoy usando el verbo to be, precedido por la palabra there. Entonces, there, más una conjugación del verbo to be, es nuestra forma en inglés de decir hay, hubo, habrá, habría, podría haber, ha habido, han habido, etc. So, there is a table in front of me. There is a camera in front of me. There was a forest fire last month. There are, plural in presente, there are many pages in this book. There are. There is a book, singular. There are many pages. Past tense, there was a forest fire, singular. There was a forest fire last month. Supongamos que hubo dos. There were two forest fires. In English, we change from singular to plural. There was, there were. There is, there are. There was, there were. In Spanish, you don't change. Hubo un incendio forestal. Hubo dos. Hubo muchos incendios. O había. Sometimes people in Spain make the plural. Hubieron. But it's not, it's a mistake. Okay? Y hasta ahora, este mes, ha habido solo un incendio forestal. Up to now, or so far. Dos formas para decir hasta ahora. Up to now, this month, there have been 2 forest fires, for example. Or, si solo ha habido uno, there has been, singular. There más una conjugación del verbo to be. There has been 1 forest fire so far this month. There have been many forest fires. There has been, there have been. Y hacemos la contracción. There's been at least 1 forest fire so far this month. There's been. Ahora, cuidado. This contraction is a contraction of there has, not there is. There has been at least 1 forest fire so far this year. There's been at least 1 forest fire. In fact, I think there have been 2. There have been 2. Okay, but how many earthquakes were there in Spain last year? There weren't any. And so far this year, there's been 1. There has been 1 small earthquake in Spain this year. How many floods were there in Spain last year? Oof, along the coast and in the north, there were several floods last year. And so far this year, there have been at least 10 major floods, importantes riadas o inundaciones. There have been at least 10 major floods. A small flood affects very few people and destroys very little property. Fijaos, very few, very little. Very few, very little. People is plural. Property is singular. Small floods affect very few people and very little property. Fijaos en la diferencia en few y little. Contable, incontable o singular plural. Big floods, major floods affect a lot of people and a lot of property. Okay? A lot of people and a lot of property. A lot of is universal, vale para los dos, o para muchos casos. Now, major, la pronunciación, major, se escribe major, pero se pronuncia May, como el mes de mayo en inglés, major. Okay? Major. A major flood affects a lot of people and a lot of property. Okay, how many floods were there last month? Oof, I don't remember. I think there were 5 floods last month. And so far this month, there haven't been any floods. Really? Why haven't there been any floods so far this month? Because this month has been very dry. Siempre estoy usando el presente perfecto. This month has been, porque this month sigue vigente. Puede que llueva a cántaros mañana y hasta el final del mes, pero hasta ahora ha sido un mes súper seco. So far this month, it hasn't rained. So, there haven't been any floods. Fijaos cómo desarrollo la frase. This month, it hasn't rained. So, there haven't been any floods. But last month, it rained almost every day. And it rained cats and dogs. Llovía cántaros. Okay. Perros y gatos. O gatos y perros. Siempre gatos primero en inglés cuando llueve. No sé por qué. It rained cats and dogs. Cats first. Okay. Every day, and so there were quite a few floods. Major floods, in fact. Quite a few major floods last month. Quite a few. Strange expression. A few means unos cuantos, unos pocos. But quite a few means bastantes. Más de lo esperado. There were quite a few floods last month. Flood. F-L-O-O-D. Flood. Fijaos en la pronunciación. Don't confuse it with food, which is what you eat. Food. But you insert an L, we don't say flood. We say flood. Isn't English logical? Okay. All right, let's go on. Okay. How many important meetings were there in this room yesterday? Well, as far as I know, there weren't any important meetings in this room yesterday. As far as I know. But I don't know everything. So maybe there was a meeting, or maybe there wasn't. Who knows? Why do you ask me the question? Oh, because you want to know an answer? Well, I'll give you an answer, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as I know, there weren't any meetings in this room yesterday. And question, and so far today, how many meetings have there been? Plural, porque digo meetings in plural. How many meetings have there been so far today in this room? Ah, there have been 2 important meetings so far today. Yeah, already? 2 important meetings so far today? Yes, there have been 2 meetings so far today. There was a short but important meeting at 9 o'clock this morning. And this program is considered, in my opinion, a meeting. So this is an important meeting right now, a meeting between you and me to improve your English, because the problem is yours, it's not mine. I'm the teacher. I don't have the problem. You have the problem, and you need to improve your English. And so you need to watch this program carefully, and after you watch it, you need to watch it again and again and again until you get tired of my face. And then maybe, once you get sick and tired, hasta harto, fed up with, como decimos los americanos, my face, or los británicos, fed up of my face, then maybe your English will start to improve significantly. And that's my objective, and I hope that's your objective. Okay, so now how many verbs have I taught so far today? Only one. Only one. There, más uno forma del verbo to be. Hay, hubo, habrá. Hay un problema. There is a problem. Hay dos problemas. There are 2 problems. Hubo problema ayer. There was a problem. Hubo dos problemas ayer. There were 2 problems yesterday. Habrá un problema mañana. There will be a problem tomorrow. Va a haber un problema más tarde. There is going to be. There will be, futuro simple. There is going to be. Va a haber. Va a haber una fiesta esta noche o habrá una fiesta esta noche. Dos formas bastante parecidas. In Spanish and in English it's the same. There will be a party tonight. There is going to be a party tonight. Y si son dos fiestas, no digo there is going to be a party. Digo there are going. Cambio there is a there are, pero going to be sigue en vigor. There are going to be 2 parties tonight, not 1. Pero con there will be no cambia. There will be 1 party, there will be 2 parties. Y hasta ahora este mes, ¿cuántas fiestas ha habido cada noche? How many parties have there been so far this month? Well, so far this month, there has been only 1. There has been only 1. O hago la contracción. There's been only 1 party so far this month. Wait a minute, I don't agree. I remember 2 weeks ago on the 4th of this month, there was a party in Jennifer's house. Is that correct? Ah, yes, that's right. Ah, sí, en efecto. That's right. That's right. That's right. In efecto. There was a party in Jennifer's house. And isn't it true that there was a party here last night? Yes, it's true. So, it's not true that there has been, singular, it's not true that there has been only 1 party so far this month. You admit that there have been, saltando al plural, there have been at least 2 parties so far this month. Yeah, I guess you're right. I suppose you're right. Okay. I guess means yo adivino, pero también es yo supongo, sobre todo cuando estás renunciando. I guess you're right. There have been. Ahora, en castellano decís, ¿ha habido una sola fiesta este mes? ¿O ha habido dos? Mucha gente en Levante, en Baleares, dicen, han habido dos. Pluralizan, como hacemos en inglés. Entonces, uno puede decir que el castellano hablado en Levante es más cercano al inglés. En este aspecto, sí. There has been one party, there have been two parties so far this month. And I think it's true. There was a party at Jennifer's house on the 4th, and in effect, there was a party here last night. So, there have been two parties so far this month. Did you come to either one of them? You didn't? Well, I think you should come to the next one. Really. The parties we have are nice, eh? We have a lot of fun. Would you like to come to the next party? We only speak English in the party. So if your English is not good enough, you can't come. We won't let you in the door. There's a bouncer at the door, which is a big gorilla, standing at the door. And when you come to the party here, or in Jennifer's house, for example, this big bouncer says, what do you want? Cloverdale invited me to the party. Do you speak English? A little. Okay. Tell me the irregular verbs in English. Good luck. Which means if you want to come to our parties, you have to study. You have to study a lot. Okay? Shall we continue? Do we have time? Let's continue. Okay. How many train accidents were there in Spain last week? Well, I don't think there were any. I don't think there were any train accidents in Madrid last week, or in Spain last week. And so far this week, hasta ahora esta semana, and so far this week, well, this week, so far, there haven't been any train accidents. No, there haven't been any train accidents. So last week there weren't any, and this week there haven't been any. Last week there weren't any, and this week there haven't been any train accidents. No. Okay. Next week, who knows? Maybe there will be, or there may be, reduciendo. There may be a train accident next week, but I doubt it. Okay. How many good films were there in this city last week? Oh, for me, none. 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 Ninguno. I don't like the films nowadays. I like the movies when I was young. The movies now are not very good. So in my opinion, there weren't any good movies in this city last week. Really? And so far this week? Well, as far as I know, there haven't been any good movies in the theaters in this city so far this week either. Because the movies this week are the same as the ones last week. Fijaos como uso ones. The movies this week are the same as those in the theaters last week, in the cinema last week. The movies this week are the same as the ones last week. And the ones last week were bad, in my opinion. So the ones this week are bad as well. So there haven't been any good movies lately. Cuando digo últimamente, lately, o recientemente, recently, solemos usar, o casi siempre usamos, el presente perfecto. There no ha habido últimamente. There haven't been any good movies in the cinema lately. There weren't any good movies last month, and there haven't been any good movies this month. In fact, in my opinion, there weren't any good movies last year, and so far this year, as far as I know, there haven't been any good movies. I haven't seen a good movie in a long time. Have you? Do you like to go to the cinema? Do you like to go to the movies? Do you like to see movies in the cinema? I don't know. Okay. And how many hurricanes were there in the Caribbean last summer? Wow, not many. 2 years ago, there were quite a few. Hubo bastantes huracanes grandes, like Katrina. There were quite a few important, major hurricanes in the Caribbean 2 years ago. But last year, there weren't many. And so far this year, there haven't been any. There haven't been any hurricanes so far this year. Why? Because the hurricane season, la temporada, hasn't started. The hurricane season starts in the middle of July and it ends at the end of October for the Caribbean. And there haven't been any hurricanes so far this year. Last year there were 3 major hurricanes, but the year before, 2 years ago, there were at least 10, with a lot of destruction, affecting quite a few people and quite a lot of property. Okay, but let's not talk about hurricanes and train accidents and floods and forest fires. These are bad things. I promise in the next class to talk about good things, okay? But nevertheless, no obstante, whether it's good things or bad things, you need to know how to say them in English, okay? Which means you have to study, my friend, okay? Otherwise, I'm wasting my time, I'm wasting my breath, I'm wasting my energy. And worse, you're wasting your time, your breath and energy too, watching me. So sit down after this class and study, okay? Thank you, and see you very soon. Bye-bye. Hello, you're here. We're back again together. Are you getting tired of me? Are you getting tired of looking at my face? Are you getting tired of seeing my gestures when I speak? Are you getting tired of the tone of my voice? Are you getting tired of my accent? Are you getting tired of studying English? Are you getting tired of living in this country? Are you getting tired of life in general? Cansarse, to get tired. I'm getting tired of teaching. Really, ya está bien. I've been teaching for 33 years and I'm getting tired of teaching. I'm getting tired of using this book. I'm getting tired of drinking water during my class. I'm getting tired of looking at the camera. To get tired of Mas Gerundio. I'm getting tired of using this cheap pen. Okay, it's not mine. It belongs to Claire, the lady behind the camera. I'm getting tired of life in general. Yeah. I'm getting tired of eating Spanish food. I'm getting tired of eating lamb. I'm getting tired of eating black pudding, what you call morcilla. I'm getting tired of eating Spanish sausage. I'm getting tired of drinking Spanish wine. All of these are examples of using to get tired Mas Gerundio. In every case, I'm not telling the truth. I'm not getting tired of teaching. I'm not getting tired of using this book. Look at this book. It's dirty. It's worn. Some of the pages are torn. Look, some of the pages are torn. This book, look at the cover. This is the cover of the book. Look at this book. Look at this book. It's ugly. Why? Because it's very good. Okay? This book is by Vaughan Systems. And the book is so good that the teachers need to change it every year because they use it so much. It's a very good book. It's a very good book. And now I've lost my place. So I'm going to have to improvise. I'm going to improvise while I'm talking to you, okay? But I'm going to teach you the expression used to. Used to. Used to. Used to. In Extremadura, in the province of Cáceres, there are 2 provinces in Extremadura. Badajoz in the south, it's a very big province, and Cáceres in the north, which is also a big province. Now, in Cáceres, there is a monastery, a very famous monastery. It's not a beautiful monastery, it's nice, and it's called El Monasterio de Yuste. Okay? It's the place where Charles V, the Holy Roman Emperor, Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire, was the same person as Charles I of Spain. He became the King of Spain in 1517 after the death of Ferdinand of Aragon. You remember Ferdinand and Isabella. Ferdinand was the King of Aragon. Isabella was the Queen of Castile. They decided to get married and they united the 2 countries to create what is today, basically what is today Spain. And then together they conquered Granada, the last Moorish kingdom. And Boabdil escaped from the Alhambra palace and he said goodbye to Granada, to the Alhambra. And as he was escaping in the mountains, looking down at his beautiful Alhambra palace, he started to cry. And his mother on another horse said, "Don't cry for something you didn't know how. Don't cry like a child for something you didn't know how to defend like a man." And Ferdinand and Isabella conquered and occupied the region, or the kingdom at that time, of Granada, and Spain was created. And that was in 1492. Now, Ferdinand and Isabella had several children. None of them became the king of Spain. They were not valid heirs. And the last one of the daughters, her name was Juana. She was a good girl, but for posterity, she's known as Juana la Loca. And she really wasn't crazy. She married Philip the Handsome, a very handsome, muy gallardo, muy apuesto, a very handsome prince who was connected to the Habsburg family. The Habsburg family was the House of Austria. But he was living in the Low Countries, or in what is today the Netherlands, Holland, and Belgium, part of Belgium. And he was living there in Juana la Loca. Juana, the Princess Juana, la Infanta, she met him. And the marriage was arranged, and Juana fell in love with him. Okay, she was madly in love with Philip the Handsome. And he was in love with her, but he was also in love with about 30,000 other women, and poor Juana suffered so much. And they came to Spain, and Ferdinand didn't like Philip the Handsome very much. And he arranged, according to las malas lenguas, according to the rumors, he arranged for Philip to be poisoned. Okay, and Philip died. Philip died very young, maybe 28, 29, 30 years old. Philip the Handsome. But I don't think it's true that Ferdinand poisoned his son-in-law. Pero quién sabe, who knows? And Philip and Juana had a child, a boy. In fact, Juana had several children with Philip, but the eldest was Charles. Charles was his name, and he grew up in the Low Countries. He didn't speak Spanish. He spoke Dutch or Flemish. He spoke German. He spoke French. He learned Italian, and he learned English, but he didn't know Spanish. And when Ferdinand died, the husband of Isabel, or Isabella, there was no direct descendant except Charles, the son of Philip and Juana la Loca. And they contacted him in Holland, or the Low Countries, and he came. And he entered Spain on the northern coast through Asturias when he was about 17 or 18 years old. And he didn't speak Spanish, or very little. And he became Charles I of Spain. And because of family changes in the Central Europe, about 6 years later or 5 years later, he became Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire. So Charles, because of an accident, practically, he became the King of Spain. Later he became the Holy Roman Emperor with control of what is today Germany, Austria, parts of Italy, parts of the Low Countries, Sicily. And then he became also, of course, the ruler of the New World. Okay? So he became, very quickly, in a question of 5 years, the most important man in the world and the most powerful man in the world. And then, in the 1520s, Martin Luther started the Reformation. And Charles I of Spain and Charles V of the Holy Roman Empire, the same man, became the defender, more than the Pope in Rome, El Papa. More than the Pope of Rome, Charles decided to become the defender of the Catholic faith against the heresy of Luther and Calvin. Okay? And he spent his life fighting wars against the Lutherans, against the Protestants. And he became the most powerful man. And in 1554, many years later,